with Karl Wells.
Good evening. In the news tonight, people in Stephenville are upset with CP Air. And in sports, we'll have a look at who's hot and who's not. People in Stephenville are wondering about the future of their airport after learning that CP Air plans to drop some of its jet service through the airport. Terry LeDrew has a report.
Late this month, CP Air will drop 2 daily jet flights into Stephenville. CP's affiliate commuter airline, Air Atlantic, intends to pick up those flights using smaller Dash 8 aircraft.
It's a continual erosion of the service that we've had here in Stephenville.
Stephenville Town Councillor and Transportation spokesman Bob Burns says he was afraid this would happen through deregulation of the airline industry, but he's disappointed at the way CP Air handled it. Just last month, Burns met with CP's Eastern Vice President, Roy Rideout, to talk about the service.
He never indicated to me at any time that we were going to be getting, a Dash 8 service, and we were going to be losing Flight 127 and 128. That's kind of got me mystified right now, because I'm sort of wondering if he knows what's happening here, or all the major corporate decisions are now being made out of Vancouver. If that's the case, it's even more cause for alarm, because, those people in Vancouver are not aware of the conditions and so on that we have down here in western Newfoundland.
Smoking or non-smoking?
Non-smoking, please.
Burns says questions still have to be answered about the schedule changes, like will flight frequency with the smaller aircraft increase? He's trying to arrange a meeting with CP as soon as possible. Terry LeDrew, CBC News, Stephenville.
A lawyer for New England fishermen argued today that unemployment insurance benefits are a cash bonanza that gives Canadian fishermen an unfair advantage over their U.S. counterparts. Bart Fisher made the statement before U.S. Commerce Department officials. New England fishermen want duties of more than 20% on imports of Canadian cod, sole, haddock, and other ground fish to offset unemployment benefits paid to Canadian fishermen in the off-season. The lawyer for the Fisheries Council of Canada argued that UI benefits have no bearing on fish trade between Canada and the United States because they're paid when fishermen are not fishing. United States commerce officials must decide by March 18th on whether a wide array of Canadian government programs constitute unfair subsidies. The Minister of Consumer Affairs has raised the possibility that the Newfoundland government could act to force Newfoundland Hydro to give people a break on their electricity bills. The suggestion came in an interview with the CBC after the Liberal opposition complained in the legislature. The Liberals say Newfoundland Hydro is not passing along savings on the purchase of oil, which has gone down in price. Rick Seward reports.
Newfoundland Hydro burns oil at its Holyrood station when its hydro plants can't produce enough electricity. Consumers used to pay as the oil was used, but that led to whopping big bills, so a new system was put into effect this year. The extra cost of the oil is now built into the monthly light bills whether or not oil is used. Hydro is using the excess to create a fund, which is meant to even things out over time. The idea is that over the long haul, the consumer will be better off. But this year has seen the price of oil plunge, even though consumers are paying bills calculated at the old higher price of oil. Newfoundland Hydro spent $100 million buying oil last year, so if the price of oil this year is half of what it was last year, they stand to save about $50 million on that score. The Liberal Party calculates that they could save as much as $60 million, money that'll be in the bank earning interest instead of having consumers get lower light bills.
Tens of millions of dollars will accumulate in hydro because they pay less for their oil and the consumer is not getting a break. Now, the ordinary person in this province is getting sick and tired of seeing everything go up and being told, well, it's because oil prices are going up, and then when oil prices start to go down and they're waiting for their gas to go down, their heating oil to go down, their electricity to go down, nothing happens.
The Minister of Consumer Affairs is reluctant to intervene.
That money will be put into this account and not be used for anything else. And if next year, for example, the cost of a barrel of oil skyrockets again, then they will take the monies, the profits that they've made this year, to buy the oil at higher prices so that in the end the consumer will get the benefit of it.
But when pressed, he conceded the opposition did have a point.
Well, as Minister of Consumer Affairs, I don't think that as one minister or as the Department of Consumer Affairs has the authority, to, for example, to say to Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro, you must do this with the windfall profits, if you will. But, you know, if, in my opinion, I think that there is something that Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro should do with those monies, then I'll certainly bring it back to my cabinet colleagues, and then it'll be a collective decision of government.
The irony in all this is that a measure that was once designed to help out consumers has wound up harming them, at least in the short term. And for now, the government seems in a quandary about what to do about it. Rick Seward, CBC News, St. John's.